Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to another video. And also another thing, as I do the year of box office bombs, now I do my video of like all the of the actors and actresses that I know of that have passed away this year. So this is my actors memoriam of 2019, like I do every year. So no one I know of passed away up until like at the end of January 30th. Actor Dick Miller passed away at the age of 90. Now Dick Miller, he was an actor that I know of. He started in a lot of Joe Dante movies, mostly in supporting roles and other small parts as well. I mostly remember him from when he was in Small Soldiers. He was the guy out. What was the character's name? Joe. He was the guy that was the truck driver that Alan knew. He let him the small soldier toys for his store. He was also in Gremlins, another Joe Dante movie, and of course another Joe Dante film, The Howling. He was also in the first Terminator movie. He was the guy at the gun store that Arnold was getting his guns up and ends up shooting him. And also remember from Piranha as well, another Joe Dante movie. He was the guy that owned Lost River Lake, and he denied there was no piranhas. And then at the end, he was like, "What the hell are you filming for?" So, yeah, Dick Miller. Yeah, a lot of Joe Dante movies he starred in, and of course in the first Terminator movie as well. So, yeah, at the age of 90, Dick Miller. February 3rd, Julie Adams, who I made a video. I met Julie Adams in one of the toy shows. Passed away at the age of 92. I mostly remember her star from the original Creature from the Black Lagoon. So, yeah, another one I lived longer. So, like Dick Miller was at 90, and now Julie Adams was 92. Yeah, but check out my video. I made a video that I met Julie Adams from Creature from the Black Lagoon. And then February 7th, we Albert Finney, at the age of 82. He starred in a couple of the Bourne movies. Was it Ronnie Cox that replaced him, or was it the other way around? So I know he was in one of the Bourne movies. Then of course he was in one of the old Christmas Carol movies. We played Ebenezer Scrooge. I mostly remember him from starring in Aaron Brockovich with Julia Roberts and Aaron Eckhart. He was the guy who was the lawyer that was helping Julia Roberts about with the whole PG&E water problem. Then he was also in Skyfall as well. So, yeah, Albert Finney at the age of 82. No one else I know of that was in February. Getting into March, I'm not too familiar with the actor, but I've heard of him. I've seen him in a couple other films. Luke Perry, from starring in The Fifth Element, passed away at the age of 52. His last film he did was starring in Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I've still not yet seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but that was the last film he did before he passed away. Luke Perry. So I don't know. I haven't watched too many of Luke Perry. So to be honest, but it's much younger at the age of 52. March 4th, he passed away. Moving down, March 18th, director and makeup artist John Carl Biegler. I mispronounced the name though. He directed a couple movies. He directed the first Troll movie, and then he directed a favorite, the series Friday the 13th Part 7, The New Blood. And as a makeup artist as well, he did the puppetry. He did effects of other stuff as well, but I remember he did the puppetry in the first Carnosaur film. We did the puppets of the dinosaurs. Passed away at the age of 66. And then shortly after, on March 23rd, a great director, underrated B-movie director I enjoy, Larry Cohen, passed away at the age of 82. I enjoy Larry Cohen. Larry Cohen, sorry. I enjoy The Stuff. I enjoy Q the Winged Serpent, The Ambulance, and he had help in with the help of he didn't direct though, but he helped write on the Maniac Cop movies. I enjoy Larry Cohen. He was another underrated director, on doing the B horror movie stuff. But I enjoy the stuff. I enjoy Q the Winged Serpent. I definitely enjoy The Ambulance with Eric Roberts. Yeah, it's another talented director, let alone writer, has not passed away. And even Larry Cohen, he helped write on Cellular, the thriller with Chris Evans, Kim Basinger, Jason Statham, William H. Macy. I enjoy Cellular. He helped write on that movie as well, surprisingly. Yeah. So yeah, rest in peace, Larry Cohen, age of 82. Next up, let's see, going into April. Nobody I know of that well in April passed away. I know that I'm looking at the list here, but I'm not too familiar with all these. There's a lot of them, like foreign actors or directors or whatever, or other crew members so I'm not too familiar with those. Heading into May, but I'm only listing the ones that I know of. I know of Doris Day. May 13th, Doris Day passed away at the age of 97, almost 100 years old, man. I've heard of Doris Day, but I never watched too much. What are the films that she's been in, though? Probably because a lot from the old movies. So I haven't watched much of Doris, but I've heard of her. Sadly, she's now gone. May 13th, but the next day, May 14th, I would definitely know of comedic actor Tim Conway. I didn't mention him when I didn't do a video of him when he passed away, though, so I skipped him. I don't know why, but Tim Conway I enjoyed, especially when he teamed up with Don Knotts, who died years earlier, sadly. You know, from the collaborating with him from the Apple Dumpling Gang and the sequel, then Private Eyes, which I enjoy, which was a good one I reviewed a while back. And of course, some of his skits as well, Tim Conway. And of course, I forget when he voiced Barnacle Boy from SpongeBob, along with another one who's now passed away, Ernest Borgnine, played Mermaid Man. But Tim Conway voiced Barnacle Boy. Yeah, he passed away at the age of 85, and that's sad. Yeah, Tim Conway. So yeah, may rest in peace. Another one I was kind of missing. So next, and then moving down. It's June. Well, I mentioned earlier. Billy mentioned earlier during the summer. Billy Drago. From starring in the Untouchables, he was a villain. He played a lot of bad guys in movies. Especially Billy Drago passed on June 24th. Passed away at the age of 73. He was the bad guy in the Untouchables. He one who killed Sean Connery and Charles Martin Smith. I believe also Andy Garcia as well. And then Kevin Costner goes and throws him off the roof and saying, what did he sound like that?" Yeah, Billy Drago. Then he played Papa Jupiter in the Hills Have Eyes remake, the 2006 remake. Tremors. He was a good guy. He played Blackhand Kelly in Tremors 4: The Legend Begins. He ended up dying, even though he was a good guy. And that he still dies. Then he was also I know he was in another movie. I know he's been in other movies, but was it the Hero and the Terror with Chuck Norris? Pale Rider as well, with one of the Clint Eastwood movies, Pale Rider. So yeah, Billy Drago's been if you recognize him in other supporting roles, you'll recognize him. So another good guy has now passed away. So yeah, he was 73. And then June 26th, Max Wright, and I didn't do a video of him though, but Max Wright at the age of 75. I haven't seen much of movies he starred in though, but he played Willie from Alf, the show of Alf. He was the father, which I think I think I might have mentioned though, but I don't recall. I think he hated working on the show, like I don't know what he's talking about. I feel like he did a good job on the show because I enjoy the show. And he said to say that he just did this for the sake of it and he did not like work on the show. I'm sorry, man. I highly disagree. You know, you can think whatever you want though, but I enjoyed Alf. I enjoyed the whole cast of the family, especially the voice and the puppetry of Alf. I don't know what he was talking about though. I'm sorry. Rest in peace, man. But I'm sorry. You were just. I think he was a bit out of line when he said that. So because it would hurt people who enjoy the show, like I do. I think that to me that's a little bit out of line, but I mean everyone's right to their opinions though. But I just to me I think he was wrong on that. I think he did a good job. Also, he was funny on the show as well. So next, moving into July 9th, Rip Torn. Rip Torn, of course, are starring and playing in the Men in Black movies. Well, the first two, because in the third film he was dead. But the first two Men in Black movies, and of course, starring in Dodgeball as Patches. I know he had a role in the third RoboCop movie. That was god-awful garbage, but I know he had a role in that movie. But he's been in many movies, too, so... But, yeah, Men in Black 1 and 2, I know, screw RoboCop 3, but he was in that, too. And then he was in, like I said, Dodgeball as well. But he's been in many movies, too, so... And Rip Torn, July 9th, passed away at the age of 88. And then also, at the same time, Denise Nickerson, who we'll say was a child actor. You recall, she played Violet from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, the original. I think that passed away at the age of 62. I think she had seizures, or was it pneumonia. Either way, it's sad though. So, yeah, Denise Nickerson. Then July 19th, another actor that I really do enjoy is, I think one of my favorite actors this year is now one of the actors I know of this year passed away, and one of my favorites of this bunch here, Rutger Hauer. I didn't do a video when he passed away either, sadly, like I did with Tim Conway. But Rutger Hauer, I loved Rutger Hauer. I loved The Hitcher. It's always been my favorite movie of his when he played The Hitcher. And of course, when he played in, of course, Blade Runner. His two most iconic roles that anyone would get put in, you know. But I love The Hitcher. You know, just how the way he enjoys the toying with C. Thomas Howell. I love Blade Runner. And other movies I enjoy, man, like Blind Fury, Wanted Dead or Alive. What was that other one? What was that one again? I know he was a Lady Hawk with Stallone. Or was it Matthew Broderick? I think it was Matthew Broderick, Lady Hawk. But it was that one movie. Crap. It was that one movie. I forget what was it. It was that sci-fi movie. It was a sci-fi film that I also do. Now I'm just drawing a freaking blank now. God dang it. Hold on. Yep. I forget to look the things up, you know. I'm thinking, was it Split Second? That was the name I was thinking of. Yeah, Split Second. Yeah, I was thinking for a second I was thinking of I Come in Peace, but that was Dolph Lundgren. Yeah, Split Second. Yeah, it's another one I enjoy. Yeah, with Rutger Hauer, Split Second. And the other films, and also with Rutger Hauer, I know it was kind of cool that he before he passed away, the game that came out earlier at the beginning of this year, Kingdom Hearts 3, when he replaced when Leonard Nimoy passed away, he voiced Xehanort, the real Xehanort. So it was cool he was able to voice him before he passed away, and my brother was like, "Oh, that's well." I told him who he was. He thought it was cool too. So yeah, I think it was good he was a good voice after replacing Leonard Nimoy. So. Yeah, I love Rutger Hauer, and just another actor I highly enjoy passed away now at the age of 75. I always enjoy his movies, especially with The Hitcher and Blade Runner, then with Blind Fury, Split Second, Wanted Dead or Alive. Yeah. So now after that, moving on now. I don't want to take too long on this. Now moving into August. Another veteran actor that I liked, Peter Fonda, which I mentioned. Peter Fonda passed away on August 16th at the age of 79, starring in films like his most known ones starring in Easy Rider, and then Ulee's Gold, which I think he was nominated for an Oscar for. And of course, other films like I enjoyed him when he voiced the devil. When he played the devil in Ghost Rider, or Mephistopheles was another name for him. Yeah, but I thought he did a good job playing the devil in Ghost Rider. And of course, when he had a cameo at the end of Wild Hogs when he played Ray Liotta's father. And of course, when I mentioned shortly after when I reviewed the movie, I didn't mention when he passed away in the video. He was in the movie because I just reviewed it during that short time. Thomas and the Magic Railroad, and I'm sure people will complain that the movie got criticism, especially when Peter Fonda's performance when he was like overly depressed and all that. I mean, to me, I wasn't bothered by his role in that movie because when I grew up with Thomas and I liked the movie growing up. When you're a kid, you don't think of much of people's acting. To me, when I was a kid, his performance didn't bother me. So I'm willing to let it slide for his performance in that movie because I enjoy Thomas and the Magic Railroad. I reviewed it, but I've seen a lot of worse acting from other A-list actors. So I'm willing to let his performance in the film slide to me because, like I said, I've seen much worse acting. So Peter Fonda, yeah, it's the fact that you got to be a part of in the world of Thompson Tank Engine. So. Yeah, rest in peace, Peter Fonda. But he's been in many other movies too, but I just can't list them all. So yeah, Peter Fonda. Then moving into September. September 7th, another one I know who passed away, but Robert Axelrod. He had a minor role in Chuck Russell's The Blob, the remake, which he was one of the men in the suits. He was talking to Dr. Meadows, his name Jennings. He was saying, like in the trailer, the organism is growing at a geometric rate. By all accounts, it's at least 1,000 times its original mass. But he was in that film. But he's mostly memorable for voicing Lord Zed from the Power Rangers series. Yeah, Lord Zed himself. Yeah, well, the voice, not the person in the suit, though. But yeah, he's mostly memorable voicing Lord Zed. So he passed away at the age of 70. Sad. Then September 13th, we then an iconic music, not only an actor but a very iconic singer as well. Eddie Money passed away also at the age of 70. You know, from his more iconic songs like "Take Me Home Tonight" and then 2 Tickets to Paradise. So yeah. Yeah, he was we lost another good iconic singer, Eddie Money. September 21st, Sid Haig, which he starred in all of Rob Zombie's movies. I'm not a fan of any of Rob Zombie's movies, especially his atrocious Halloween movies, pieces of garbage. But he starred in all of Rob Zombie's films before, including the one 3 from Hell, the one we did earlier this year before he passed away. So. Nothing against the guy, but he starred in all of his movies. I'm just not a fan of any of Rob Zombie's movies, so. But he passed away at the age of 80. Next, Rip Taylor, October 6th, passed away at the age of 84. He's mostly a voice actor. I mostly remember him from, he voiced the genie from DuckTales of the Treasure of the Lost Lamp. He voiced the genie. And the Tom and Jerry movie when he voiced Captain Kitty. So, yeah, I mostly remember him starting from those 2 movies, but yeah, sadly he's now passed on. But and then October 11th, which another veteran actor that I really did enjoy, another underrated actor, Robert Forster. Like Rutger Hauer, I enjoyed Robert Forster. Starred in a great many movies. I enjoyed him as an actor. His was one of his best memorable films he starred in, which he was nominated for an Oscar for, in Quentin Tarantino's Jackie Brown. Then he was in that Disney that was '79 Disney's The Black Hole, and other films that he was he was in. I know he appeared at the end of the Psycho remake as the psychiatrist. Shitty as that film was, but his acting wasn't the problem. I liked when he described that about Norman Bates at the end, but the film was shit in general though. But he wasn't the problem. I know he played I know he starred in The Last Man Standing, the show with Tim Allen. He played Tim Allen's father, and then he was also in other many movies. Many movies, but I know he was in Supernova, but he died way early in the movie. That was a bad movie, but he died early. I know he was in Dragon, the 2007 film Dragon Wars. He was like some kind of sorcerer, I think it was. Then he was in the first two films of Olympus Has Fallen and then London Has Fallen. But he's been in many movies. But I enjoyed Robert Forster. This now sucks. He's now. Oh, how could I forget? I mentioned him in the video when he passed away. Alligator. My favorite role of his. How can I mention my favorite role of his? Alligator. From 1980. I love Alligator. Feel stupid enough for me to forget about my favorite role of his. Alligator. I love Alligator. Passed away at the age of 78, man. Yeah, rest in peace, Robert Forster. I just can't believe how can I mention Alligator. Classic creature feature movie. And then moving to November, nobody I know of fully in November, so. Then December. No. But then, December 8th, I did a video, Caroll Spinney, the guy who played memorable for playing Big Bird, as well as Oscar the Grouch. Ever since, from the time the show started up until, he retired, a few years ago. And then he passed away, man. And it was at the age of 85, man. Yeah. I always grew up watching Sesame Street, and always well, of course we didn't know who played the Suso, but nowadays, yes. He did a great job. I think he also voiced Big Bird as well. But I know he was the guy, he played in the suit of Big Bird. Playing for almost 40, for 40 or 50 years, man. From the time basically the show started. As well as the movies as well, so. Yeah, he always did a great job. Oscar the Grouch is a great character, a classic character. I like Oscar the Grouch, but Big Bird is probably everybody's most memorable character. Well, besides Elmo, but Elmo didn't show up until later in the years. Like in the 80s, or the mid-80s, I think. But Big Bird has always been everybody's favorite character in Sesame Street. Yeah, so he always did a great job playing Big Bird, so rest in peace, Caroll Spinney. And after that, no one else after that until right now, so. Yeah. All the actors that I mentioned, may they all rest in peace, for all the good films that they starred in. From Rutger Hauer, like I said, Robert Forster, Peter Fonda, Albert Finney, Dick Miller, and everyone else, like Billy Drago, Tim Conway, and everyone else that I mentioned. So may they all rest in peace. No, but like I said, it doesn't get any easier. Like I said, that's how life is. Life goes on, and I'm just wondering who else, because you never know, man, what's gonna be for life for next year. I just don't. You never know. Could it be just a shocker or so? It's never easy when all these great actors that you grew up watching, just all of a sudden now they're up and gone now. But you watch these films for watching it in their memories, like I do with all many great actors. Like one of my favorite actors, I love Dennis Hopper. I always watch my favorite role of his in The Villain in Speed, and like I said, Rutger Hauer from The Hitcher, let alone Blade Runner. Robert Forster as well from Alligator. Or Bill Paxton, that's another. But it's always it doesn't get any easier, so you never know who's gonna up and sudden just all of a sudden, oh, passed away. God dang, it's like it's always a sucker punch to the stomach, So I never know who might be next year. So I don't want to think about it right now. So when if it happens, it happens. As we say, shit happens basically. But it just sucks at the same time because that's how life is. But rest in peace to everyone that I mentioned. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next video. Later.